So today's project, going to make use of the laser cutter. As you can see in the corner, Crafty Falcon A1. Lovely little machine. It's not failed me yet. It's not exactly been overused, but it does sit in my shed for a week or two doing nothing. Turn it on, it works. So yeah, let's make use of this project today. So what are we making? It's going to be a wooden box for doing kintsugi. Now, wonderful, complicated, tricky, artistic Japanese way of repairing broken pottery. So the reason for the wooden box is to keep the pottery in question in a controlled environment, humidity wise. Important to keep that controlled, and it also keeps it out of the way of prying pets, cats and dogs that are in the house. So I'm going to be using some 3mm plywood, nothing special, Amazon special. Buy the same stuff, comes from a different place the next time, but it is what it is. So making a box, so let's draw the base of the box. So we're going to be 280mm by 180. So let's manually put those in, so I'm not going to draw it to size. That is going to be the base of our box, and as we've got a laser cutter, we might as well make use of that and give us some nice little tabs to make some box joints, so that one, it's easier to put together, and two, it's going to look a lot better. So I did say I'm using 3mm plywood, but it varies in size. It's never exactly what it says on the tin, and if I make these tabs a little more shallow than 3mm, at least they won't be poking out, so they're not going to be quite so noticeable. They might be sunken a little bit, but we can live with that. Now the black line I'm just using for a construction, get my sizes. This is what is actually going to be the outline of the box. So I've split it, and then I can make use of the parts rather than redrawing. So this is going to be our repeating pattern to come down and build our box joints. So let's join that back together, make sure we don't lose any bits, and then we'll use an array. So a grid array, but we just want a single column. So not a full-on grid, but a linear array we've now turned into. Important to drop this row spacing to 0, because we want the pattern to repeat and be in contact with each part. If we put the row spacing up, you'll see that we get a little break between it, which is useful for some patterns. You know, if you're repeating holes or something, making a Connect 4 board, perfect for that, but we don't want them. We want them all lined up, and I've got 280mm, a 20mm repeating pattern, so it should be 14. So a 10mm tab, 10mm recess, we're repeating that 20mm pattern. So if I've done that right, we'll turn the black on, and our pattern takes us to the end. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we'll do the same for the short edge. Got the top edge, let's run the short edge. So making sure we're back away from our construction lines. We want to make sure we're in what we want to draw in, build in, and we'll do the same again. Probably could have copied that pattern, but let's just build it. Now, an important thing, I've broken the link between the sizes. When you fire up Falcon Design Space, the standard, these will be linked together. So when I reduce this one to 10mm wide, this one reduces accordingly. That's fine if you've sketched it out to the correct proportions. I haven't, so I need to break that link so I can change this dimension without altering the width. Let's just bring it in, snap it into place. So same with the long edge, we've got our pattern that we want to repeat using grid array, but we don't want a grid, we just want a linear. So only one row, more columns, and there we go. 9 is the correct number, but because we've got this spacing, it's overshooting, so we need to take the column spacing down to 0, so they're all together, touching. And there we have long side and a short side. Now what I'm going to do is join all those together. Shape closing. Shape closing is really good. If you've got a slight gap somewhere, it will make it run on with the laser cutter rather than cutting little bits. Also, really important, if these are all separate, when it goes to cut it, laser cutter might go cut this line, cut this line, cut that line, cut that line. We join it all together, it will cut as you'd expect. So, good practice to join it together. Also means you don't have to do a box select like that. We can just click on there. What I'm going to do is copy that. So Control C, normal, Control V to paste it. Rotate that by 180 degrees. And then we've got, as long as we put it in the right place, grid snap's working, we've got our base. Easy. What should we do? Join that all together. That's what we want to do. Shape closing, got our base. The plywood usually has a bit of a wonky edge and so on, it bows a little, so let's frame that and see how it looks on the machine. So we've got our base, this is how it's going to be cut out, fits on the plywood nicely, and we've got room to go with at least one side piece on the long run there. And what we'll do is we'll place it so we make use of this cut rather than cutting it again for the corresponding side. So same as before, let's give ourselves a construction line. Going to go 150 high, that's what it needs to be according to the boss. 280, which is our base size, base length. And if we bring that over, you'll start to see what I mean about we're going to utilize this cuts. So when we come down, we're going to build our tabs along the short edge, nothing along this long edge because it's where the lid is going to be, and we will, after we've built these tabs, we will paste them along here, and that will be our side. It'll all come together. What I'm going to do, I'm going to draw these tabs in a different color. Reason being, I might want to deselect the base independently, so being able to turn other elements off makes it easier to be able to select what you want. So something like that. 10, 2.8 again, just to keep them shy, and then snap it into place. Those red lines showing us that we're aligned top and along there, perfect, exactly what we want. We'll split that so we can make use of that to build our repeating pattern a little bit better. And one of the reasons, boom, turn that off, we can select just this, join them together. So we've got our pattern that we want to repeat on our grid array. Let's just turn that on so we can see how far it's going, because I already know 20 is not going to go into 150, is it? So array, grid array, one row, no spacing because we want it to run edge to edge to edge. We need at least 8. That gets us off the top, and now we need to split that one so we can delete the extra bit we don't need. Now, you guessed it, copy and paste. Let's join them all together. Shape closing, Control C. Here, Control C, paste it up. Now, let's not do that. Let's spin that around so that we have a mirror image. So we could have modified it with the flip, but cut and paste. We will just rotate it 180 degrees. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.